administrator. Who can tell me about data analyst? What do you know? What do you understand about data analyst? Anyone? From what I just mentioned, data analyst. What's your role? Just tell me the way you understand, not necessarily what I have written there. Okay. Thank you. But then you can just still break down that analyzed data to that the fact that they capture the data, they clean it, right, and they visualize where you now get to make decision and then be able to predict things. Okay.
As data engineer and data scientist, they are all kind of like books a lot. So what is the key distinction between the data engineer and the data scientist?
Okay. The distinction there, the truth is, like you pointed out, actually it's interconnected. You cannot have a data science project without your data engineer working well on it, having to do his job correctly. Do you get that? So you can see that what is coming to the table of a data scientist before he can start applying the right kind of, because data scientists will be the one to sit down looking at the problem they are trying to solve, to know if they are using a linear regression or this for the machine learning algorithm they want to employ. Will be the one to sit down and try and build and train the model. Do you get that? But then, of course, data engineer will have been the one to capture the data based on what is the data scientist need. Then he will clean it, because many of those times you get a lot of data being thrown at you. Then you have to streamline it, clean them. This is not needed, that is not needed. Is that? The role of data engineer will be the one to clean, to put it like the formatting I just mentioned earlier. Will be the one to put them in the right formatting, to structure them, and then make it clean, ready for use. So when he's done with that, he can then now transfer the data set to a data scientist who will now pick up the job from there. So the job are mostly that it is actually interconnected. That means they have to collaborate. But at some point, data scientist is more of like a critical, or it's more complicated. What is expected of a data scientist is more complicated than that of a data engineer, because a data scientist will not be the one to determine the right kind of machine learning. That means if you are talking about qualification, what is expected, that means a data scientist will have to do more learning. We have to actually be more exposed than that of data engineer, because he's making a critical decision. You'll be the one to now work on the project. But then what I'm still trying to emphasize now is the fact that his work is not without that of data engineer, but his work is also very is different. In a sense, it's different, but he's just working on whatever the result the data engineer has provided. Hope I've answered the question too.
Yeah, I also have a question.
Okay.
Nowadays that we kind of interact with the LLMs through websites and apps and all of that.
Yes.
These LLMs, they are being developed by data engineer, data science after they know the role.
Exactly.
So using them with like mobile apps and websites, we kind of like need to interact with them using like APIs and all of that.
Exactly.
So the structure of like building all those endpoints to interact with LLM. So who can we say that is in charge of that, building something like that, building like endpoints that we can now use to interact with LLMs like data science and data engineering as well?
That would be the role of software developer now, or am I?
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is that
okay.
Develop like softwares and all of that. The LLM is a product on its own.
Yes.
Which let's just say the web app or just the app is a product on its own.
Okay.
For us to now kind of like data science knows things of Python and all of that.
Exactly.
So I need to include the data science, data engineer, and data data scientists works with. So after like, okay, I want to make a large language model whereby people can use and all of that. So after like getting my data, playing, studying, being engineering, being the direction, how to use the LLM and stuff. Like after that, I now want it to be used maybe like with apps, websites, and all of that. So the activity of now making like endpoint that can now interact with that data.
Okay.
So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, who is in charge of that kind of like activity? Which role can we see?
I mean, it would be correct to say it's the role of a data engineer. He will be the one to actually put, because one of the things we even said that is that from what we said there, he said build and maintain the data infrastructure, ensuring data accessibility and quality. The what I mentioned earlier was to emphasize on the quality aspect, but then not forgetting that data engineer is also the one responsible for the accessibility, how people are able to access the data. So having to now deploy a particular language model to be used on web, it will be the work of data engineer. And the truth is, most of the time, at the end of the day, you might be a data scientist and find yourself doing the role of data engineer, being the one to do everything, because some organization might not have the capacity, or even let's say you have a project to work on, you might not have the resources to bring somebody else on board to work with you, and you be the one to do everything. That means as a data scientist, you're also trying to go back the ladder and then do this as an engineer, do that, and put all of those structure in place. But then I understand, in a well-defined organization where we need to put structure in place, we can say it's the role of a data engineer.
Because actually, the main concern is I've actually worked on this data stuff and all of that.
Okay.
Whereby I took data, I cleaned it, and all
Okay.
of that. So I measured the accuracy and all of that. So I'm not like, okay, this project now, how can I make like other technologies interact with it?
Oh.
Like for example, like I did like a model which can predict number cancer.
Okay.
So I can't just say, okay, if you now to predict your cancer, you go and collect it, I'll now input it to my LLM. So it's not feasible.
Exactly.
So we need like a more interactive interface.
Yes.
That you can use to interact with that LLM. So that's why I'm not like, okay, you are the people that are in charge of this kind of activity. That's why I kind of asked.
Yes, data engineers, and the scientists also will actually need to be on board. We will actually be partner with together, because they are the one that will tell you how to properly deploy that model, what is needed. So in trying to data engineer having to put all those structure in place, the scientists also have to need to oversee that. Do you get that? Because that's also a critical part in data science project. After you've trained, you've built the model, and now the deployment, that means communication. The scientist actually has a lot of insight into what he has done. So he'll be the one to guide, okay, this is needed, this is all needed in deploying it. All right, thank you for the question. And interconnected roles, like I was trying to point out from what we just explained now. You observe that these roles work together. What? Let's read that together. He said these roles work together to create a data-driven organization. Data analysts collaborate closely with data engineers to access and prepare data. Data scientists rely on data analysts for data exploration and what? Visualization. So one actually work with the other. They can't do. It's like the body. You can't say you are good with just having hand and you don't need your legs. Can you see that? No, they are interconnected. Do you get that? Despite the distinctions, despite the different things that each of them have expertise on, they still work together to help your organization. So key takeaways now. Let's read that together. The key takeaways. Of roles to succeed. Do you get that? They rely on diverse set of roles data analyst, data this, data that, data that. So all of them, they bring them on board. And then even they have to also need to, if they have to deploy a software, they have to also bring all these web developers on board too, to help them build interface so that people can access their product. For instance now, you and I can just pick up our mobiles, right? You just go to Google and press Gemini, and then but then that's an interface. But then what is behind that thing is a lot of mathematical modeling, a lot of statistics, a lot of brain work. But what you and I are seeing is just a beautiful interface, like you are chatting with somebody, abi. That's a work of all these web developers to be able to do that. So you can see that all these things actually work together to solve problems. And one thing you need to know, in as much as it's very good that you are learning this, you are getting started with Power BI, but then the beauty of this is you being able to solve problem with it. Nobody will praise you, or we say we appreciate you, or will give you money because you know how to use Power BI. No. But then what will make sense is if you can use your knowledge of Power BI to solve problems. And that's what we're actually trying to drive at. Do you get that? And you see that in a bit. Now, core responsibility, because our focus for this learning track is what? Data analytics with what? Power BI. So we are now actually focusing on core responsibility of a data analyst. That means before you go ahead and download Power BI, before you start familiarizing yourself with different features of Power BI, what do you want to do? What are your responsibilities? So when you understand this, that will now help you understand why you need Power BI, why you need, when we say data analytics, there are a lot of tools out there that you can use. Do you get that? You can use Excel for the mini projects. That one has its own limitation, and that's one of the things that we discussed last week. For instance, now Excel can only take about 1 million observation. Because it can take 1 million doesn't mean you should put 1 million. The system will hang. That means because it can take 1 million, you should work around 500 or 600 observations, and it has limited features. That means the columns. Now I'm talking about the rows and columns. Do you get that? So now the one that is much more complex and can do a lot of magic is Python. You can also you can work on data science projects with Python. But then what we are actually discussing, all these are low code softwares. That means you don't need to bother, because having to work with Python, you need to is a programming language. You need to learn the nitty-gritty of Python, how it works, and before you can now talk about data analysis with Python. So the advantage this guy is giving us, Power BI, as we are going to see, is that he now puts data analysis in the hand of end users, people that really need it, because you can easily log on to Power BI and put in a lot of things, and then you get the result. Unlike trying to still bring data scientists on board that will write code and all of those. All right, let me digress. So core responsibility of a data analyst: you prepare model. Okay, let me just, the image is not. Are we together? Yeah. So the core responsibility is that data profiling and cleaning. Data profiling and cleaning. You ensure data accuracy, completeness, and consistency. Data accuracy, completeness, and what? Consistency. There are a lot that those words, there's a lot that actually, by the time you start working on a project now, you see the beauty of what we just mentioned. An example is I can just go back to what I shared with you earlier about your date. I asked all of you today's date, and you all gave me in different formats. You get that? But for a data science project, I need to maintain consistency. I have to be consistent with a particular format, a standard format. Do you get that? So that's where data cleaning comes in, to also ensure accuracy, so that to be sure that, okay, You know, it might be that you are actually trying to capture your data now, and let's say you are working with a manufacturing firm. For day one, they produce 200 pallets of products, and probably in trying to enter it, you mistakenly press 210, now having as 20,000 pallets. That's not accurate. So you have to check, you have to do some check, because now how do you identify that? From your domain knowledge, from the fact that probably you've taken out time to understand the business, because that's the first thing. We're still also going to discuss all of those. You know, you should know that they don't have the capacity in a day to produce 200,000 pallets. So you should know that there's obviously a problem with your data here. Do you get that? So that's what one of the things you do: data cleaning and profiling. Data transformation, converting raw data into a usable format for analysis. I was thinking I brought it, but then I did not. Okay, probably tomorrow class I will bring it along. The project I'm currently working on, we have the report being sent in on a particular WhatsApp chat. Everybody, after the end of the after their production day, they will send in their, what's it called, they will send in their output. Now my own work is to track output per shift, because that organization, their setting is that they have 4 teams that will actually they work with, in the sense that we have people that will be on morning shift, afternoon shift, then the night shift, while some people will be on a particular in a given day. And what they want to do in trying to measure their performance, let's say you belong to a team, the two of you belong to a team, so they want to measure your performance. How many during the course of your shift in the month of August, you want to know the number of products you're able to produce. Do you get that? But then what they send in is, after the end of their shift, they will just send in a WhatsApp message that we're able to produce this is the number of this, number of that. So as a data analyst, I'm the one that will sit down, and then from test now, because all these are just WhatsApp messages, they are tests. I'll need to now put them in a structured format in an Excel sheet, rows and column. Do you get that? And be able to now do the sum. After that, then go to my Power BI, then visualize it to be able to communicate. What am I trying to say in essence? Your role is the fact that you what? Data transformation, converting raw data into a usable format for analysis. I can put WhatsApp test into Power BI. It will work with it. Do you get that? As we're going to see as we progress in the teaching, how to get data in Power BI. WhatsApp test is not part of the data Power BI get. So you need to actually have all this understanding and get them done. Data source management, understanding data source, connections and performance implication, data security and privacy, protecting sensitive information through anonymization or removal. All of these are your role. Now let's see all of these in detail. Data modeling. What do you say about data modeling? I want everybody to read that. What do we say about data modeling? Database design, semantic modeling, performance optimization, iterative process. Is that? So for your database design, you create relationship between tables for efficient data storage and retrieval. Do you get that? That's one of the key things that we're going to introduce you to in Power BI. You have to build interaction between your, because when it comes to, if you have to work on Power BI now to do any project, you might need to get your data from different sources. Are we together? Probably you need to get the sales data from the sales department. You need to get the customer data from your HR or from wherever they are being stored. Now you need to bring these two together and have them connected on your Power BI. So that's what we mean by database design. That means you look for a particular column or a particular row that join these two together. and then you connect them with that. So that is a skill you need to have too. So we said semantic model, building clear and understandable data structure for analysis, performance optimization, ensuring model efficiency for fast report generation, and then iterative process. All of these you are going to see them in practice in a sec now. Data visualization. That is you actually telling story with your data. You employ the use of different charts. Of course, you know what we mean by charts now. Your bar chart, pie chart, line graph, histogram, depending with their features and what depending on what you want to also do, you employ the use of the right kind of, if it's a categorical data or a time data, a time series, or depending on what you have, or you're trying to tell us a part of the whole, you get to now what employ the use of the right kind of charts and tell your story. Do you get that? And then, so what we said is storytelling with data, creating compelling visuals to communicate insights, interactive report designing, and all of those beautiful things that you do. Now, data analysis itself, exploratory data analysis, that's your EDA. So what do you say about that? I want everyone to read that, please. What do you say about your exploratory data analysis? Can you see that? Okay, can you see that? What do you say about it? Discovery what? Patterns and trends within the data. I mean, you look into your data. Okay, from January to September, we have an upward movement in our sales. But then there was a shift around that August. You just dropped. What happened? Oh, that was when we had end bad government protest. So we were unable to. So all of those things we were able to just track it. Advanced analytics, applying statistical and machine learning techniques for deeper insight. That's your machine learning, and we also have AI integration, utilizing AI capabilities to augment analytical power. Actionable insight. After all of this, you'll be able to give us something to work with as an organization, as a business, as an institution. Now, data management. All these are still the role of a data analyst. What do we say you do as a data manager? Access management, organizing and maintaining reports, dashboard, and model. So in the next module that we're going to see before we round off, it will help you understand what we mean by reports in Power BI. We start with the visualization, reports, and also I'll tell you about dashboard, R1, where you can get them. Also collaboration, facilitating teamwork through shared content and workspaces. Security, protecting data and assets from unauthorized access. That means you be the one to secure the data. Efficiency, reducing data redundancy and improving performance through effective management. Now, key takeaways. Let's read that together.
Data analysis
in transforming raw data. You can see that's what we've been repeating that again and again. That is what we are trying to do. Be it the use of Python, you are trying to use Excel, you are trying to use Power BI. What you are trying to achieve, your goal is to give us what? Actionable insights. Do you get that? Even from your knowledge of statistics, having to employ the right kind of chart, what we are still trying to drive at is to what? Have actionable insights. Okay, we said the responsibility encompass data what? Preparation, right? Are we together? Modeling, visualization, analysis, and what? Management. And by mastering these areas, data analysis can drive informed decision and create significant business value. So from what we've discussed now, you should be clear with your role as a data analyst, right? Right? We said you what? You prepare data. You understand what it means to prepare data, right? Yeah, you know what it says, you have your data in the right kind of format you want it. So you be the one to put it in the right structure, clean, and make it ready for analysis, right? Also, what do? You build your model, right? Is that what we said? You build model. What other thing do we say about your role? What do? What do you do again? Data visualization, analysis, and data management. Okay, let's test our knowledge. I have some questions for us here to be sure that we'll be following. I have some questions. Are we ready for that? Or any question before I go to my own questions? Any question from what we've discussed and helping you discover data analytics, the power of storytelling? Any question from what we've discussed so far? Any question?
You said earlier that as data engineer,
Okay.
that you have to do the work of like structuring the data.
Exactly.
Now you said as data analyst, you gather data, structure it and clean it. So that means the data engineer can also take over the work of the data analyst.
I will put it that a data analyst also doing the work of data engineer.
But like you said, there are some technical parts which require some kind of like programming and all of that.
Yes.
So can still the data analyst take over that kind of activity?
To some extent. So the more reason you will need to collaborate, because to get started with whatever it is you want to do, be it visualization or to discover pattern, you can't do that without preparing the data. So having to put it as part of his work is to drive in the consciousness of the fact that, oh, you still need to collaborate with your data engineer, or you need it's more like a process to getting to the end point, that is the desired result. That actually is needed. You need to still make the data ready for analysis, make it ready for use. So you might not have all the expertise, but then you should still have an idea of what is to be done. Do you get that? So, and a need for collaboration, because based on the question they are trying to, and because when it comes to getting started with any data science project, the best approach is having a question you want to answer. Because when the data is being thrown at you, there are thousands of things you can get done with the data. But then if you have a question you are trying to answer, that will now streamline the process. So as a data analyst, you know what you are trying to answer. You partner with the data engineer to now get all of those done. So me bringing that up again is to re-emphasize the need for collaboration. Do you get that? You might not have all the expertise, but then there is a need for that part to prepare that data. So he might get to outsource, collaborate with, or if it's something he can handle, he gets it done. Hope I've answered the question. Thank you. Any other question? Alaja? You don't? Samuel? No question. What's the name of my sister? Sir? Ma? Oyindamola. Any question? Your name is Miriam. Mina. Oh, sorry. Okay. So any question? That means what we've discussed is crystal clear, right? So I have some question here. Don't mind me. The email. Don't mind me. It's not clear enough. Which data role enables advanced analytics capability, specifically through report and visualization? Which data role enables advanced analytics capability, specifically through report and visualization? Is that? Are we sure?
Yes.
Are we sure of that? Is that what everybody? Okay. Says data analyst. The second one. Which data analyst task has a critical performance impact on reporting and data analysis? Which data analyst task has a critical performance impact on reporting and data analysis? On report, is that? Analyze. Which data analyst task has a critical performance impact on reporting and data analysis? Impact on reporting and data analysis. So are we still going with visualize or analyze, or which one do we? Are we very sure? Which one are we going? Which one are you going for? So let me ask the last question before showing us. I will input the answers and see if it's correct or not. Let me go back to my now the last one says, which one of the following option is the most important key benefit of data analysis? Which one of the following is the most important key benefit of data analysis? Is it descriptive analytics, informed business decision, complex report? Which of them? Which of them? Which of them is the most important key benefit of data analysis? Are you sure? How about complex reports? Can't you see the word complex?
The aim of analyzing data is to make business, is to make informed decisions. That's our main purpose. Our key benefits.
Oh, are you sure? Samuel, are you sure of that? Okay, let's see your answers. Let's see what we've got. We check knowledge, right? So for the first one, you said what was your response to the first one? I picked that. And then the second one, you said visualize or analyze. Which one? Visualize. And then the last one you go for. So check your answers.
I thought it's analyze.
It's model. Yes. The model, it's one that builds relationship between your table. If your data are not well connected, there's no way you can visualize. There's no way you can have the right kind of analysis. Do you get that? So that model is key. So data analysis is appropriate visuals to help business decision makers gain deep and meaningful insight from data. And then okay, so you hope you've learned that now, right? So, and then what we've been able to see from what we just shared with you over time, having to help you discover data analysis, is that you've been able to learn and see how that the role of data analysis is vital to the success of an organization. Yes or yes? Additionally, the tasks that data analysts perform help ensure that the business decisions are based on trusted data. That's the very first part of the project, where you clean data, you make it ready, and you have your accurate. And then you also learn about different roles in data, right? And where our brother actually asked questions, trying to understand the distinction, right? But then the key thing here is that they work together. Do you get that? They always work together. Hope that is clear. And also, we said you also learn about the different roles and how the people in these roles. You can see that it's an effort. It's something we cannot afford to lose sight of. That the people in this role work closely with the data analyst to deliver valuable insight into a business. That means your data engineer, data scientist, all of them have to work together to make business, help them make informed decisions. So we've come to the end of this part, where we help you discover data analysis. By now, you actually have an idea of what we mean by data analytics, what we are up to, what we are trying to do, the process of turning raw data into insight, right? Actionable insight. The role you have to undertake, what is needed, and all of those. Now, the next thing now is to